I actually felt very compelled to finally put out a video specific for the E-series. People that are on here are on this journey with me. I had a thought today as I was driving along, and I wanted to put this down while it's fresh so that as you listen to this, as you get this email here, it'll be on the 24th, as you prepare for holidays, there's another theme you could think about as you're trying to prepare for 2022, how to come out of the gates running and to have a bit of I guess a concept or a theme that you can ponder with. Because I know as we enter the new year, a lot of us feel a little bit overwhelmed. You might feel you might not have enough on the go yet. You might feel there's not enough pending deals, active business, active listings, and that's okay. I mean, that's that fear that starts every year all over again. All we can do is hope that each year it gets a little bit better and that we're a little bit further ahead. So this concept came about, and this is not a new concept per se, but let me jot this down here as you can see. It's this concept of macro versus micro. Now, you might be thinking here that you've heard this before, and you have, right? We have talked about this idea of kind of like pillar content. This is big pieces of large content that we create. This could be like a YouTube video, right? This also could be, a blog post. Could be, an article you write for a publication. But these are all considered large pieces where you put a lot into it. A 10-minute video on YouTube is typically 1,500 words or so, right? Within the body of this, you've got a macro piece of content for which, when we do this right, we teach the concept of, taking that big piece of content and making micro content where it might become an Instagram post, or it might become, a quote image. You see these really cool done like carousel posts where it's just piece over piece over piece. So you've heard this concept, Gary V. I mean, if you've ever wanted to understand how to take pillar content and micro content and make a workflow out of this, Gary V has his complete playbook. You can just Google it and you can download it. So that concept you've heard. But I want to flip the script a little bit and bring you to macro versus micro, but in a slightly different way. And I'm going to think of it from a macro and micro strategy. So, you have built a business plan and you're about to start executing on it, which is great. And you also continue your learning, right? You might attend your next brokerage meeting. You might watch a video on a course you purchased. You might enter a new module for which you go. And I guess what I'm trying to create here with this video is this idea that that next piece of learning that you're taking on, that book could be another thing that you're learning. You dive into this, and I don't want you to have the pressure that you need to understand it all on the macro, and that you have to feel the pressure that that entire module, that next, full strategy needs to roll into your plan. My suggestion for you is keep consuming new stuff. Keep being on the edge and learning more. But because we've got a dialed in business plan that you're about to run, I want you to think of it from this idea of micro. What from your continued learning can you take on the micro level? Let's chunk down your learning to the smallest little bit, the next executable step for your business. This will, I think, change the tone for which you either don't shut off from the world and you're not aware of the changes that continue to happen or the new opportunities that come your way. I don't want you to shut yourself off, but I want you to consider not changing your game plan, but only doing so with adding these micro steps, the micro strategies that could layer in. You might be listening to, one of my podcasts, and you're going back over the 60-minute podcast with somebody who speaks about TikTok. Instead of thinking of, wow, I'm not ready to deploy a complete TikTok strategy, find the nugget or two that relates to how it could enter your business plan, just that one piece or the other, right? It doesn't have to be much. It might be the one technique, the one golden nugget, and that's it. And that's allowing you to keep your eyes and your ears just wide open. But then don't push yourself too hard, and make sure that you're only adding the micro steps piece by piece into your business. I want you to think about that as you go through the winter or over the holidays. And the reality is, you're probably going to have a little more time on your hand between the craziness with kids and family and spouse, or being locked up in your house because of course, Omicron. The idea is find the micro steps you can make, the next most important move, the next pivot, the next little wedge that you can start to add in and put a crack into that rock, right? It's just, you're not going to do the whole thing at once, but what is that one little tip that you can take, execute, and then maybe over time you can chisel on it and it becomes a larger, more macro strategy. This allows you to let it in, execute a little, but not change everything that you've always built out. Anyways, that's my thoughts for you as I kind of complete the E series for 2021. You won't see a video from me next week. You won't see an email, but I wish you happy holidays. Thank you for taking this journey with me. And to be honest, in 2022, I am ramping it up, so I hope you're ready.